Hey folks, happy Tuesday. We continue our Pastor's Devotional Tuesday, February 23rd. And the question of the day, or the statement of the day: open my heart to be moved to serve you. Open my heart to be moved to serve you. This is part of our Lenten journey. Is that we recognize along the way our root of salvation does not just have to do with our relationship with God, but our root of salvation has to do with also our relationship with neighbor. I was just talking to one of our members, Jen Cole, about this yesterday, as she has been thinking a lot about this. And I'm so thankful for the ways in which she thinks through this and is thinking about, as we care for our neighbor, that our relationship with God gets stronger. As we our relationship with God gets stronger, our love of neighbor gets stronger, that it's all mixed up in there. And so the assumption would be that as we're growing closer to God in this Lenten journey, that one of the things we're doing is we're serving people more. And we're serving people more because that's a way in which we get close to God. But also, when we get close to God, we have a desire to serve people more. It's sort of chicken and the egg. What comes first? So, open my heart to be moved to serve you. And I love that idea that it is God's movement that causes us to serve. It is God's working in our life that moves us so that we might go and serve others. It makes me think of the passage in Gospel of John, chapter 5. So turn Gospel of John, chapter 5. I want to read this passage with you real quickly. John 5, chapter 5, verse 1. After this, there was a festival of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now in Jerusalem, by the sheep gate, there was a pool called in Hebrew Bethzatha, which has 5 porticos. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me in the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat, and walk." At once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk. So a couple things about this passage. One, that Jesus is moved to help him. 2 is that he laid there for, 38 years? And there was no one during those 38 years that was moved enough to help him get into the waters? People stepping over him, walking around him, ignoring him. 38 years that no one was moved. Which I think is the very point of God coming in the form of Jesus again. I mean, God creates us to be caretakers of one another and of all of creation, and this is what it became. That for 38 years, people just walk right by him and ignore him. And finally, in the form of Christ, God comes down to the earth to literally show the people what it means to be forgiving, gracious, just, kind, good. And so Jesus gives us that example. As we journey through Lent, that is the example we're looking for. We're looking for those places in which our hard, cold hearts might be warmed by the love of God, and our actions might come to look exactly like those of Christ, should we pass by the way of that man laying in those porticos. God bless. Have a great day. Indeed, open our hearts to be moved to serve you, O God. Amen.